Hello everyone, I've got a slightly different video today. It's also sort of a little add-on to the main presentation that hopefully you've seen. So you would have seen the pictures, if I found it. This is of Jeremiah James Coleman's grave for the Coleman's presentation. So this is a sort of me looking for where he might be buried. And also there's some other interesting graves here as well in Rosedale Cemetery. The oldest non-denominational cemetery in the United Kingdom. It's a mix really, a lot of sort of civilian graves, but also seen online there's some Commonwealth war graves. In fact there's one just in front of us here. So we'll take a look at that one first and sort of make our way there. Fortunately I don't really know the history of many of the graves here. For instance this chap, 80 Woodard, second sick berth steward aboard HMS Abiel, who died on the 10th of March 1918, age 45. Yeah, I think I might try and look into this and maybe come back and try and find actual more information on a lot of them. Just sort of wandering and seeing how it's going. Also sort of using this video as a quick catch up. I know I posted the statement as well, but this is more of a talk to you easier than writing the same comment 50 or 60 times. See the squirrel just going along the road? Yeah. Sorry, they just distracted me. Yeah, I just sort of want to thank all of you who've stuck around as long as you have with the channel, with my absence over the last few months. It was a move-in house job, was quite hectic. Didn't have internet for a while, and I sort of got writer's block, for lack of a better word. But all back now. The weather's better, so start doing some outside videos again. Sorry, I just seen this one as I was walking past. It was quite interesting. Stands out from the others. Yeah, so as I was saying, ooh, sorry, not yet. See the robin on the grave? Oh, of course, as soon as I zoom in it goes. Oh, it's back. And it's gone. Sorry. Yeah, so as I was saying about this graveyard as a whole, it was the first non-denominational graveyard in the entire country, entire United Kingdom, I should say. So, you know, it's for people who weren't particularly attached to one church, I believe. Which would explain why the Coleman family is in here. They were not politically, well, slightly politically as well, but religiously they were non-conformists. See, when I was looking at stuff online, I put in my head, they've got an obelisk. So look for an obelisk and you'll find them. I completely underestimated how popular obelisks were. Also, the problem is the graveyard is quite overgrown now, and I believe most of their graves are sort of horizontal on the ground, you know, sort of like that but flatter, so might struggle to actually find them in the end, but let's see what we can find. Say if not, it's a nice day, early spring, good time to be wandering around. I think I've said several times before, I want to sort of move into doing a few more of these as well as the regular presentations. Outside stuff, going to bits around Norwich, Norfolk, Suffolk, maybe further afield when I'm there, but that's not often at the moment. Yeah, there's definitely stuff coming up I could sort of show to you. It's not the people we are looking for at all, but Looks like quite an interesting one at the top of that little hill up here. I'll turn and take a look at. The whole site itself covers about 13 acres, I believe. And when I was looking online, apparently it's 18,500 people buried within here. So, needle in the haystack is starting to come to mind at the moment, but I think I may have passed it. I think it's back over there. But if not, there's an information bit near the entrance I could look at again in a bit more detail. Sorry, I just thought this one here looked quite interesting. Oh, okay. John Barker, steam circus proprietor, who was accidentally killed on Norwich Cattle Market, 12th of April 1897, age 60. Oh, okay. And in loving memory of his wife, who died on the December the 3rd, 1900, age 50. Okay, oh, little information pamphlet here anyway. Okay, so, God. Trapped between two wagons while on his steam roundabout. Wow. So, I had no idea what this one was. I might have to find a bit more research into him. I've got one coming up for a Norfolk circus producer, Pablo Fanke, who was the first black circus owner in Britain. He was born in Norwich. I may have to sort of do a secondary one for this one as well. Who's this next to him? So there was just another quite interesting bird, but I'm not... Charles Tunston. Okay, I'm not sure who he was, but obviously if we look at the cross, he was a Freemason of some sort. I wonder if that was at the actual Masonic Hall in the city. Oh, there's the bird again. Sorry, really bad at holding still. And possibly a phone camera isn't the best for this sort of thing. Yeah, this, I don't know if I've said it or not at the beginning. This is Rosary Cemetery. It's up past the station in Norwich. Sort of go up. You walk to the side, it go along past the Royal Mail offices. A little bit further up there, it's next to a recreation centre. Let's say, just got a nice peaceful place just to walk around, even if you aren't looking for a particular place like I am. Right, I think I'm going to start heading back towards the information plaque because I've overshot it some ways, clearly. So, and really quickly, as I was heading back, I found another one of the Commonwealth war graves, another Royal Navy. It's a leading seaman W.J. Walker, who was on board HMS Pembroke, 12th of June 1917, age 39. I feel like I should know HMS Pembroke for some reason, but it's not sprung into mind at the moment. Right, we'll press on. Right, so as I was walking back once again, I did see this on the information panel. I was going to look for it a bit, but I've stumbled upon it as well, which is great. So this rather unassuming gravestone of George C. Wilde. Is it, sorry, George... Yeah, Wilde with an E, yep. Unfortunately, it's incredibly faded, but he was a lance corporal, I think, eventually promoted to corporal by the looks of this information plaque next to it. But he served in the army in the Victorian era for 23 years, and he was actually wounded as part of the charge of the Light Brigade in the Crimean War. Yeah, so I honestly had no idea that was anyone in Norwich buried involved with that. I might have to see if I can find information and maybe do a presentation about him, if there's much information out there. Being such a low rank, it's a bit iffy if there'd be much out there for him, but there might be. So I'll take a picture of that in a moment, and maybe you'll see his story fully at some point in the future. So I've just more of a question here, maybe someone could answer for me actually. So I've seen a couple of graves now with this sort of symbol on it, the shaking hands. And weirdly, both of them have been for a woman called Mary Ann. The other ones are just over there. The symbol, is that... Because I know they've got their own graveyard somewhere in Norwich that I'll go and look at one day. But is the handshaker thing a Quaker symbol? Because I know they're the Society of Friends. So I'm just more curious on that one than anything. But good news is, I think we are now on the right track to find where the Colemans are buried. And if I don't completely mess it up, you can come with me. I also get quite a good shot at the sort of little chapel here as well. Looks like it's either under renovation at the moment or just shut down and too dangerous to go inside. Bit of a shame, but here we are. So anyway, as I was saying a little bit earlier, just thanks everyone that stuck with the channel while I've been away. Hopefully I can sort of hit the ground running again. Got good ideas for a few presentations coming up. Summer's better, as I've said. I can be out and about places like this. Other ones, the graveyards, places in Norwich and around. It's quite an interesting looking one. Okay, I think what was happening was I actually wasn't going far enough. And I think this might be their one coming into view up here. All judging by other people's pictures I've seen, yeah, I think we found them. So, a little bit of a shame, a family that did so much for the city there, sort of largely seems to be overlooked here, but actually no, this seems to be quite well kept. So this is the Coleman family plot, and here is Jeremiah, the one we've been covering. Factory owner, politician, devoutly religious, you know, philanthropist, especially for the time. So if you've seen the presentations, all the things he did for the Victorian era is remarkable. Paid holidays, schools that weren't just about making better workers. You know, as I say, I go into more full in the presentations. Yeah. And buried along here with his wife. Yeah, it's just a shame that that so much of his life sort of to go down towards the end, losing his wife, his son, his best friend, and his mother so incredibly quickly before his own passing. As I said, he died only 3 days after his mother passed. And we've also got his son, Alan Coleman, who died on the Nile at Luxor. I didn't really look into it, unfortunately. I don't know if that was a military expedition he may have been on, or if he was just, you know, sort of a general little bit of a Victorian explorer maybe, or getting into the early fields of archaeology. But yeah, it's nice all three of them are here together in Norwich. As I say, there's some of the other family here as well. Family, an extended family, I'm assuming. James Stewart, Privy Councillor of Carrow Abbey, Norwich. Eldest son of Joseph Coleman. Okay, there's some either connection to the family to be in here. And it's obviously they were still being buried here as late as, is that 0 or an 8? Oh, Ethel Mary Coleman. Okay, again, this is such a simple gravestone. But this was the first female mayor of Norwich, one of the first in the country at the time. And yeah, I think she should be remembered a little bit more than she is, but there's a presentation coming for her as well at some point. Yeah, but it seems that most of the Oh yes, and here's our so Jeremiah is buried over there, and here's his father and his mother. Mother there. So that was the one he was running the company with for a little while before he died, and left it to him when he was in his mid-20s. And again, this was the mother who passed only shortly before he did. And up at the top we have, I believe that would be his uncle, the one who actually founded Coleman's and retired, that that then caused Jeremiah to step in. As you can see, it was while researching, you've got Jeremiah Coleman, James Coleman, Jeremiah James Coleman. At times it was a little bit tricky to sort of work out lives. Yeah, well, I'm glad I've made the walk up here. Very glad I made the walk up here. And yeah. So I'll take some pictures now, and other than there's actually another information plaque of another grave up that way I'm going to go and take a quick look at. But other than that, that's sort of this video. So I'll cut here for now, and I'll talk to you when I'm a little bit further up the path. So that grave I saw as I was walking along, it's for Ralph Hale Monart. I've not someone I've heard of, but he was an author, wrote several books about Norfolk and Norwich. I'll have to look for them, and some about the Spanish Farm trilogy. Not one I'm familiar with either. But he attended the Octagon Chapel in Colgate, which I believe is another sort of non-conformist church in the city. He's not actually buried here, according to this, the same as John, who must have been a son, I'm assuming, looking at the dates. Their ashes are elsewhere, so this is his wife, assumably a son and a daughter as well, are buried here. Again, it's something I'll look into, see what we can find of that at some point. That's sort of really all there is for this one. I'm just sort of now making my way back, and thought I'd do a quick sign off on this. It's a new idea, first one I've done something like this. I did like one of walking around Pakefield year or so ago. As I say, I want to develop this more, so any sort of feedback you've got on it would be really appreciated. I'd try and be a bit more scripted in future. I did just sort of turn up with a couple of facts I'd remembered and not much of a plan, but I don't know, maybe in future I should sort of come and sort of look the place over a bit more first. And again, that does sort of spoil the initial reaction, sort of bit of turning up and see. Sorry, just to go back to what I was earlier. Another gravestone with a handshaking thing on it. Makes me wonder if it's a particular sect's thing. Ooh. Hang on, we've got possibly the grave of a sailor here by the looks of it. Not a war grave. Ooh. Oh, actually quite a family of them. Died I don't know. Possibly they were fishing family or something. Some various thing. I don't know. I need to do more research before I come to places. Unless, of course, you like the sort of wandering around casually, finding things. Obviously, it will change. They're not all going to be graveyards I go to, but there is quite a few interesting people buried around Norwich. Some I've covered in videos in the past. Others I may cover, or their involvement's just too slight to really do it. But I would still like to see where they're buried. For instance, unfortunately, I've forgotten their name, which is a bit bad. But they're the child of Tom Thumb and Thumbelina, who were part of what was his name? Had all the big travelling circuses in the 1800s. Barnum. They visited the area, and sadly their child died here. They're buried in one of the graveyards. That's sort of it really. I'll sort of sign off here, and we'll see what else we can do in future. Sorry about that rather rambling ending. There was people coming. There's more people coming now, so I'll have to make this brief. But yeah, just give me feedback on what this was and how you think I can improve it in future, basically. So I'll leave you with just one final look at the little bit of the chapel there, and a sort of sign off as we're leaving. as you know, I said it like 3 or 4 times already, any feedback greatly appreciated. Be beginning of a new series I can do while I can. There's trying to think of any other interesting people I can think of buried in the city. I know there's like Amelia Opie's grave and her family. They're up in the Quaker graveyard. I meant to go there when doing the presentation, but sadly it was raining quite badly on the day I had free. So that could be another sort of exploring kind of thing. Yeah, so it's a Rosary Cemetery for those you're looking for, and if you're local, those are the current opening times. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this rather different video in the beginning of a new series, and I'll see you in the comment section for this one.